Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Mark Cuban is the topic of discussion. He was on First Take yesterday. Was it yesterday? He was on First Take yesterday talking to Molly and Stephen A. Smith, and they asked him a ton of questions. And one in particular that caught my ear is when they asked him about the player participation rule that Adam Silver put in, which I guess says that, it says a couple of things. One, a star player can't miss televised games. Two, if you have two star players on your team, well, let me back up. Not saying that they can't miss a televised game if they're injured, but if they can't rest a star player on a televised game or the play-in tournament, because they really trying to market their play-in tournament, right? Two, if your team has two star players, they both can't rest on the same night, on the same game, right? And there's some other things in there, but that's the gist of it, right? And I did a video, which I'll link in the description. I also put it at the end of the video, so you can click on it if you want to watch it after this. But I did a video talking about Adam Silver when he was trying to explain why this rule came about and what it's supposed to do, and he kept trying to act like what he actually said, this is a response to what the fans were saying. He was saying the fans wanted this. The fans got tired of flipping their TV on and look and, oh, Kawhi's not playing, or he didn't say Kawhi specifically, but basically what it was he didn't want that to happen. He said the fans, this is for the fans, and he also said that it's just a bad look for the league, and and things of that nature, right? And I raised the red flag and was like, I don't think that's what it is. I think what it really is that the sponsors are concerned about it, because if I'm spending good money and I'm playing ads on a certain network's channel that's supposed to be airing your games, and the ratings are not high enough because people are not watching because your star players are not playing. So you got networks that got concerned, and you got sponsorships that got deals with the networks that's concerned. And I said that's the reason why they really were doing it. But I forgot about one thing which Mark Cuban brought up as well, and I'm gonna play for you what Mark Cuban said, and then I'll come back with my commentary.
I want to transition to a deeper subject, at least for me, when it comes to this, because I'm really interested in knowing what, if any, role at all did you play in this when we talk about the player participation policy that was recently announced by Adam Silver, Commissioner Adam Silver, weeks ago. And in the effort to avoid that load management, stars in this league missing some games and what have you. What are your thoughts about that policy? What level of involvement, if any at all, did you have in such a decision being reached?
They don't use me for anything anymore, Stephen A. It used to be I was involved in everything. Now it's just like Cuban, forget about him. But in terms of where I feel, I think it was misunderstood to a great degree, right? I think it's not so much about load management, give the guys some rest. There's a lot of science behind it. That's part one. But the more important part is when you get to a certain part of the season and you want to be able to put the best 5-man unit that you can on the court. And inevitably, every player is dinged up. And the less dinged up they are when it gets to crunch time in the season, the better run you can make. And so while I think fans looked at it from one perspective, I don't think it was as big a problem as it was made out to be. And I think a lot of the influence came from gamblers, because teams, we've transitioned from a world of, hey, this is my team. I grew up a Mavs fan. I'll always be a Mavs fan, to, all right, on social media, half the talk, if not more, is, well, I got this bet in this game, or what are the odds going to be? What's the line going to be? And that influences a lot of the perspective of load management, because, who am I going to bet on? And that's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the world we live in.
Mark,
that's very eye-opening. Very eye-opening. That's the angle that I missed when I did my video on this. I knew it had something to do with sponsors and networks, and I knew that they were trying to close in on a $5 billion, probably more than that, TV deal with these networks. And you can't go to the negotiating table asking for that amount of money where they can come back with a response and say, or with a counter and say, we have an issue with your players sitting out on games that's televised, because we're paying good money for your games, but you're giving us a product without your best players, or you're giving us a game without your best product on the floor, right? So this is to satisfy that. I knew that part, but I didn't think about the gambling part. Well, gambling is legal now in sports and football and basketball, and so much stuff is they're getting a lot of revenue from Vegas and the gambling as well. And Vegas can't do their job the way they want to do it and get people for their money, because they can't really set everything up like they want to, because who knows? You looking at a Clippers-Lakers game and all of a sudden Kawhi's not playing, especially how it happened in the playoffs. Kawhi was playing Phoenix and was playing great, scoring 30, 35, 40 points. Then Kevin Durant up really, really good and looked like everything was fine. And then he come out the next game and was like, yeah, I can't go. Vegas ain't know nothing. They didn't get enough warning in Vegas to even know how to do the odds. They didn't know how to do the odds because it happened so fast. Kawhi was just like, yeah, I ain't playing. They can't work with that. So yeah, that was in Adam Silver's ear. And I like the fact that Mark Cuban went on First Take and did that with that huge platform. And I think he probably planned that. He wanted the fans to know the real. And I appreciate Mark Cuban for that, because I know good and well Adam Silver, if Mark Cuban told him that he was going to go say that on First Take, he wouldn't agree with it. Right. So I know Mark Silver pissed off right now that Mark Cuban did that, but people don't like Mark Cuban. It's already been said, he's always been a problem ever since he bought the Dallas Mavericks in 2000. He's been very vocal. He's been against a lot of the BS. And he speaks up about it. So it's a lot of people that he's probably rubbed the wrong way, including David Stern and Adam Silver. And he rubbed them the wrong way when he sat Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic down the last 3 or 4 games of the season to make sure they didn't make the playoffs, so they can protect their draft pick that was top 10 protected. Right. So Mark Cuban is a character in the NBA scenes. And I know that they're not on the same page right now, him and Adam Silver, for him to come out there and say that. Like he could have not said that, but it is hilarious that he came out and said that. And I know those questions that they said they was going to ask him. This is a $1 billion man. He's got money out the wazoo. Don't have a lot of time to do much of anything, but he took time out of his day to come on First Take. And I know he's not going to do that blindly without knowing what questions they go throw at him. So those questions they already spoke about before he went on there. So he was ready to get that answer. He said, man, it wasn't about the fans like Adam Silver tried to claim it was. Yeah, we doing this for the fans. I don't know no fans is tripping about Kawhi Leonard sitting out because his knee's bad. I don't know a lot of fans is like, oh my God. I know some stupid ones that they listen to First Take or listen to ESPN and hear some fat idiot, that never played sports talking about, oh, we want to see the players on the floor. Why aren't they playing? They're getting paid $20 million. You can't play hurt, blah, blah, blah. Remember Willis Reed? Yeah, it's some unathletic dudes that can't jump over a phone book that might be analysts on ESPN and saying that stuff. And then you got more people that don't know they're better repeating that stuff. Yeah, it's some people like that. But for the most part, I didn't see any metrics that said that ticket sales were down and they linked that to players sitting out. I didn't see anything about the ratings going down. If anything, the ratings in the NBA, if they are dwindling or going down, it has nothing to do with the fact that you might have a player miss 1 or 2 games for rest at the advice of his doctor, including the team doctor. I don't know a lot of people that are saying, yeah, I ain't watching NBA no more because they. Well, you're turning a lot of people off from the NBA by how staged it is, and all this goofy stuff you're doing that you think is going to bring you more money. That's what's making the NBA product bad. The fact that every time the NBA voices their thoughts on something they want to do new, like say for instance they want to That like right now, the new thing is they want to appeal to the foreign audience. They want to appeal to people overseas because that's a whole different revenue they can tap into. If I could pique the interest of people overseas, then the way that we're spending money over here in America, buying shoes, Jordans, Jumpmans, Kobe's, LeBron's, Kyrie's, like buying all those shoes, then if we're doing it here, if we got superstars like Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, and they get a shoe, can we get the same amount of people buying their jerseys and their shoes over in the countries where they're from? And if they can, that's something that Adam Silver has done of like, oh, we can make way more money because we can go into different countries and do the same thing we're doing here in America in those countries. And then we can also close TV deals. They got networks over there. Whatever the ESPN equivalent is in Serbia or Slovenia, can we go ahead and tap into that market and have them airing and paying for NBA games for their network because their stars are playing in it? So if you think about it, everywhere they want to go for their new money, they start implementing things, changing rules, and doing certain things so they can make that happen. And that is the reason, not the sole reason, because these players are really good, but the fact that we see an uptick in foreign-born players getting this much attention, winning, going to the finals, winning MVPs and all that stuff, is because this is all designed for them to market them. The NBA don't market players that don't win. So if we choose to market you, we also have to do what we can on our part, on our end, to help you win. You got to do it. You got to do your part too. You can't be like Luka and show up to training camp out of shape. And Luka has been the MVP favorite, preseason MVP favorite for 3 straight years. And for 3 straight years, by game 20, he's already out of the MVP race because he got up to a slow start or he was out of shape. And, you know, one year, Jason Kidd had to sit him down for 5 straight games because he was fearing for his health. He was out of shape. He was so out of shape. So he's always preseason favorite for MVP, but he's never in the race by game 20. Right. So he's not doing his end. He's not doing his part. The NBA's trying to give him MVP. Trying to give it to him. The media is trying to give him MVP, but he's not doing his end. He's not holding up his end of the bargain. Right. They'll probably try again this year. Right. So but yeah, they will market the players that they want to see as a cash cow, but they can't market someone that's not winning. So we got to help you win. We got to give you a little bit of favor. We got to, you know, tip the scale toward you a little bit. Right. So, Mark Cuban said something very interesting, man. The gamblers are the ones who influence this rule change. That is amazing. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I'll catch y'all on the next episode.